So let's get started. So this is Sway. Now there's a couple of different ways that you can get to a Sway. You can go to sway.office.com, and I've already loaded it up so that it's not going to take time loading. Or you can go to your Office 365 login. There's a couple of little differences in the way that you create from your starting point, but just so you know that you can go to either of these starting points. Now, if I go to sway.office.com, it takes me straight to my Sway portal, and from here I can create a new Sway. If I log in through my Office 365 login, then I need to come down and find the Sway, the SharePoint. They're green, both green, which confuses me. Find my Sway icon here, and then this is going to open up my Sways. These are all the ones that I've previously made, and this is where I can start a new one. Now, one of the main differences here is you will notice I'm in my Office 365. I can start a blank one. I can start from a document. So two ways I can start. When I'm in my sway.office.com, I have three ways that I can start. I can still create a new one. I can still start from a document, but this way I can also start from a topic. So this way might be quite a nice way to scaffold some thinking. So if I start from create new, I've got a blank canvas. If I start from a document, it will take my section headings of my document and it will section it out for me already. And if I start from a topic, it will give me some suggested outlines for my topic. So I'm just going to start from new so that you can see all the different things that we can do. But if I did want to start from a topic, I would just click on it. You can see it gives me some suggestions. Let's type dinosaur because there are plenty of students who love dinosaurs. Spell it correctly. And you see it creates an outline for me. So I can click create outline. It's going to say, do I want dinosaur film, a TV series, a dinosaur train, dinosaur size? I just want dinosaur, and create outline. And it's going to create that for me. You can see it's going around, it's creating. And so in a moment, it's going to pop that one open for me. I'm just going to leave that one rolling. And here I'm just going to create a new one. And so this is how it opens up for us. Put a title in. Now, a couple of things to notice. In the top left-hand corner, you have storyline. And if I hover over that, you can see that it says add content to your Sway. Or it says design, and design is the look and feel of your Sway. So I love the way that it opens on storyline because the focus for your students is adding the content. That's our first step. Our design comes later. So I love that it leads us straight to adding the content. So we title our Sway. I might just call this, let's call it dinosaurs. And that's where we're going to create about dinosaurs. Now you can see that emphasize, accent, and link. So there's not a lot I can do to my title, which is great because again, it saves the kids from all that mucking around. I can add a background and you can see as I hover over it, click on it, it brings me up the search option. Yes, so Tony, this is about Sway. It is free, totally free. And yes, it's unlimited. You can make as many Sways as you like. So if I'm looking for, my title is dinosaurs. So notice it gives me an option to look for dinosaurs. I could look for animals. I could look for backgrounds, food, nature science, or I can type my own word in here. So it's got a bit of artificial intelligence going on in the background, and all the way through, it's throwing up some suggestions to support your students' thinking. So let's just click on dinosaurs. You could, of course, upload from your own device. So maybe the students have drawn their own dinosaur in another tool and they've saved that to their device. They can then use that in their Sway. I'm just going to click on dinosaurs. It's going to throw me up some images. Notice that it tells me up here, I've got a tick and it's only giving me Creative Commons licensed images. So when you're talking about that digital citizenship with your students, this is giving them access to images that they are legally allowed to use. Let's just take this guy here, click on add, and it's going to drop it in. Now I can click the X in the top right-hand corner, and that pops my search bar away. As I'm going through and as I'm building my sway, one of the really lovely things is that you can keep checking how it looks. So anytime that you've added something and you want to think, how is that going to look from the end user? You can just click this play button, and we'll do that. I'll show you that a couple of times in a moment. Now, because I've put an image in here, you'll notice I now have a focus point. You may not have noticed, but that wasn't there before we put the image in. And what the focus point does is it lets you choose how much of that image do you want to show in your sway. So if you want, what it will do is you could just select a portion. So maybe I just want his head to be the focus. And you'll notice down the bottom here, it's showing me a preview of how that's going to look. If I want the whole image, then I just click this little box here, and you'll notice the preview underneath has taken the whole image. So the focus point allows you to choose what is the important part of the image. And you've got the option to have the whole image in there. Now that we've got our title and we've got a background image, if we click on play, this is how it looks. So this is how our beginning of our sway is going to look. We just tap the edit and it takes us back into the editing mode. When we're ready to add some more content, we click on the plus, and it's a great opportunity again to talk with your students about the digital technology curriculum. Why is it a plus? So why have the makers of this software used the plus symbol? And it's because they're thinking about the end user, and they're thinking about how we as users of the software, we know that plus means add. And so we want to add something else. So you can kind of have that conversation with them too. So when we click on the plus content, this is what we see. We can add another heading. We can add some text. We can add an image. We can stack that image. So that means more than one image, like a group of images. And we could upload some content from our device. We can upload videos. We can upload PDFs. We can upload images. We can upload Word docs. So we can put a whole heap of content into it. This is suggested. So these are the things that Sway is suggesting we might want to add. But maybe we know that we just want to add text. So we could just click the text tab. The media tab allows us to add content here. So again, an image. We can add a video, and it will search YouTube for us. We can add audio. Now we can record our own voice in here. I'll show you in a moment. We can embed. So if you've got a Google form that you've created and you want to put the Google form into the Sway, you can embed that form so that students will be answering or parents will be answering that form right within the Sway. They won't have to leave it and go somewhere else. And again, we've got our upload choice, and we can group things. So if we've brought in more than one image, then there's different ways that we can group those images. So let's come back to our suggested, and let's say that we want to add some text. And so now we're going to write an introduction to what the Sway is about. So we could just write, dinosaurs are amazing, and I'll prove it to you, or whatever you want. And again, you can see with our text tool, again, we can make it a heading. So when it's being viewed by the user, it's going to be larger text. Emphasize will make it stand out, which is literally another word for bold. Accent is another word for, you can see it's kind of italicized, but not quite. We can have bullet points, we can have numbered lists, and we can add a link. So we can create hyperlinks. So it could be that your students have, again, created something. Maybe they have created a PowerPoint. or maybe they've created a video, or maybe they've created another amazing tool, and they're going to link it. It's living in their OneDrive, and they're going to link to there. So we can do all of this. We can choose. So each one of these things that we add into Sway is called the card. So this is a card, and this is a card. And in the top right-hand corner here, we can choose whether we want the card to be small or whether we want it to be larger. So you can see how the text size changes as I play with these two buttons. And again, we can click on our play button and we can have a look at how it's looking. So as we scroll down, this is how our text will look. I can come back up here and come back into edit. And that's it at the moderate size. I could choose the smaller size. I could come back to my play and I could just see how it looks. So you can just really quickly and easily check out how your Sway is looking as you build it. So I think I'm going to make this a larger one. Then in here, I can come again, and maybe this time, maybe I'm going to add a stack of photos. And so I'm going to come and get my images. And again, I can, same search as what we had before. Now notice it's opened my last search. So it's kept my dinosaurs in there and it's given me back the same search. I could, of course, click the X up here next to the dinosaurs if I didn't want dinosaurs and I wanted to search something else. So I could come through and I could select 1, 2, let's just take, I'm just randomly choosing some here. Let's take those 4 and click add. So up here, you can double check how many you've added, and I can add 4. So this could also be a really nice way of students being able to show evidence of their learning. So maybe they're uploading 4 different snapshots of pieces of work that they have done. And you'll notice at the moment, it says a stack. So if we're not sure what does a stack look like, come back to our play and we can take a look. So we've got dinosaurs, we scroll down, and here is our stack. And I can make them bigger if I want. So I could view the image. And if I click on each one, it just pops it to the back. So it stacks one on top of the other. And as long as we click, it's just going to keep flicking through them. So that's how our stack looks. And if we come back in and we decide I don't really like that, we can click our options on stack. And we should, where is it gone? Don't you love this? We should be able to change that. Here we are. So here's our group type here. And stack is what's selected. So I can make it a collage. So they're going to be next to each other. We don't have to flick through them. I can make it a grid. I can make it a slideshow. Now this slideshow shows me just the image on top. This slideshow shows me the image on top with the thumbnails of the other images. And this one shows me a continuous side by side. So again, just choose the one that you want. And now you'll see, oh, excuse me, if I close that, we can choose the size just like we could with our text, whether we want them small, bigger, or biggest. Let's go for the middle size, see what that looks like, and come back and have a look at how it's looking. So here we go. Dinosaur is amazing. Here's my stack. Here's my main image. Here are my thumbnails. And I've just got my button here to go through next. So totally up to you how you want these to look. And again, that was only the middle size. So we could change that size as well. Can you change the images when you are using one of the templates? Yes, totally. So if I click on here, top left-hand corner of my stack, there is a play button. And from here, I can come in and I could just select one and I can just delete that one if I want to, and it will delete that one off the stack and I can bring others in as well. Okay, so that's putting in images. So we could pull those images from our laptop. we could pull those images from the internet. So they can be images of what we're talking about. They can be images that are samples of our work. And once I'm ready to move on, I'm going to click on, I just want to get off the gray. I'll come back up at the top here. And I just want to click, there we go. Because if I had clicked on that first plus that came up, it would have added another photo into that stack. So I wanted to close the stack so that I'm adding another card and I'm not adding into that same stack, if that makes sense. So now I'm going to add, let's say, media. And this is where we could come into media if my mouse pad would behave itself. Oh, here we are. And we could add video. You can see, again, it's still kept dinosaurs. So until you change it, it's going to keep defaulting back to what you had in there. Again, it's got Creative Commons licenses. So this could be a really good place because you can see that these are sort of kind of like fun toy ones maybe. So this is where you can talk to your students about your search terms and what we put in our search term as to what sort of video we get back. Now you can notice that each of these in the bottom right-hand corner of the thumbnail has the little video icon. So Sway is prompting you to tell you that this is a video, and you can also see the time of the video. So this is 2 minutes and 7 seconds. This is 11 minutes and 11 seconds. So it shows you the timing. So let's just take a nice little quick one. Reason being, I'm hoping it won't take too long to load. You can add a caption to your video. So this was a scary dinosaur roar. So we can put that in there. Oops, and spell it correctly. There we go. Again, we can emphasize it. We can put the accent, we can bullet number, and we've got the option for the size as well. So you can see that in terms of creating a sway, what I love about this is that students are only doing one part at a time. So they can't race ahead, completing a whole lot of stuff before they've done the bit ahead of it. With these cards, once you've completed the cards, if I click on this one, I can just drop and drag the order of them. So as your students are working, if they preview their sway and they think, well, no, actually that part needs to come before this, then we can just click on it and we can just drag it. And wherever that green line goes is where it will go. And so, oops, it didn't fix that. Still didn't fix it. Now we have them in a different order. So you know that you can just drop and drag the order. Can we insert a number of videos so that they play continuously non-stop? To be honest, Angeline, I've never actually tried that, because what happens is if I click on here, on this card here, I've got the option here to resize it, but I don't have an option to control the playing of it. So it's not like, say, PowerPoint, where you can set the video to play when it comes onto the slide. So in Sway, what we need to do is come down and we have to manually click on it for it to play. So yeah, having it play across the Sway, probably not. It's not something I've tried, but I mean, totally get your kids to have a go and see, you know, how could we do this? In terms of building some more content, so you can see, you just keep going through, you click the plus. Let me just show you the audio option. So if I come down to, let's just move that out of the way, and I click on media to get my audio, then it gives me an option here to add an audio file. So if you have got an audio file that is already sitting on your device, you can upload that, but you can also record. So in the top right-hand corner of this card, it has the option to record. And when you click on that, it gives you a get ready, gives you a 3, 2, 1. I think dinosaurs are amazing. I wish I had been a dinosaur. Stop. And then what you can do is you can listen to that first. I think dinosaurs are amazing. I wish I had been the dinosaur. You can re-record it. So if there's a whole lot of background noise and you couldn't quite hear it properly, you can start again, you can bin it, or you can add it to your sway. And so it pops it in as an audio file. And that's just uploading. You can see the little green bar going across there. And you can keep on adding. So you can see it gives you a prompt that we can add some other things and come back later once it's processed. We don't have to stay at the space and wait for it to be processed. The only other thing that we probably haven't touched on is the embed. But if we grab, let me just see if I can grab a quick form. Sorry, guys, I should have had a form open. We changed the colors and changed it all around. Let's just come back to forms, see if I can find it this way. No. Where have our forms gone? What color have they made forms? Share OneNote. It's not there, is it? That's weird. Anyway, we would grab a form. Let me come to my OneDrive and grab one out of there. Let's search for a form this way. See if it gives us ones this way. Surely we have a form. PowerPoints, look at that, everything but forms. Okay, we'll come back to forms in a minute, guys, and I will see if I can find one. Okay, so that's it. So we're building it, trying to change an image. Do I have to delete the card and add in a new one? If I come back to my image up here, and if I click on my card, click on the details, click on the image, it's looking like once it's in there, you have to delete the card and add another image. It's not letting us replace the image. So yeah, I'm sorry, Elaine, it looks like we have to actually delete the card. We can delete it, but there's not an edit in there. Just while we're in here, I should have said you can caption your image and you can add a logo as well. Now, I realize that this is a really quick whiz through Sway, but the other two important things are our design. So we've got the idea of how we can build it. We add a card, we click on the plus, we add our content, we choose the size, the focus point for our images. We can keep coming back to play and previewing how it looks. Now, in terms of our design, so we've built our content. When we click on design, over on the right-hand side, we have styles. And so we can click on styles. And this is where you can see my sway is vertical. So it is running down my page. So I'm scrolling down, but I could make my sway horizontal. So if I click play now, you can see that on the bottom right-hand corner now, I've got a left and a right arrow, and I'm going to move through my sway horizontally. So completely up to you which way around you want it to look. For me, I prefer the vertical look. I don't know why, I just do. It seems to flow more seamlessly for me. Or you can make it in slides. So if you are starting from a document and that document is a PowerPoint, you could make it slides, and then it's going to sort of replicate that look of a slide, and it's going to fit a lot better. The way that our sway looks, so down here we've got some preset layouts that we can choose from. So if you watch my slides on the left-hand side there, if I click on something obvious like this one, now it's got a pink background and it's got white writing. So it's going to take the format of the one that I've chosen, and just know that you're not limited to just what you can see on your screen here. There is an arrow here that you can arrow to the right, and they have some other ones in there as well. So if I click on this one, you can see it's changed. And we can't come through and customize these colors. They're all preset. If you don't like it, you can choose Remix, and Remix will randomly choose one of the layouts for you. You can see this one's down here are kind of more scrapbooking kind of looking. This line is a little bit more simplistic. These ones have kind of got borders around them. So you can just have a play. Oh, that background's a bit nasty. Let's not choose that one. Let's come to say this one, which is quite plain. Let's choose one where you can really see the difference when we choose it. Let's come through maybe that one. And then again, just click play. And you can see now how that background has changed. So there's your little playing around in terms of what you can do with the design on it. So on the left-hand side, we clicked on design. And then once we were in design, we clicked on styles on the right-hand side. And that's where we can play around with our layout, whether it's vertical, horizontal, or a slide look, and we can customize the way that it looks. Now, the other really important thing about Sway is once you've made one, you've got it looking really awesome, and you're ready to share it, you have your same share button that you find across all of the Microsoft suite. So you click on share. By default, it's those people in your organization. So if I want to share it with parents or I want to share it outside of the school, I can click anyone with the link. Or maybe it's a reflection of students learning and maybe I only want to share it with specific people, then I can click that. So choose how you would like to share it. You can invite people to view it only. Notice that's on by default. But if you're collaborating with another teacher or you've got students who are collaborating with each other, one student can create the Sway, they can share it with another student and allow them to edit. So they can actually work on it together. And then what you can do is once you've decided how you want that, you've got your link here. So you can copy the link and you can email that link to, or you can share it through Teams. You could even embed it. So you get the embed code here and you can embed your Sway into Teams. Or you can get a visual link, which is quite nice. So it just makes that link sharing a little bit more dynamic for students. So you can copy this and this is actually your link. So you can see it's taken some of your title and your title background and it's created the link. So if I copied that, you see I've copied it, I can paste that anywhere. I can open, let's just come back to here. See this one has opened up. Oh, here we go. So we'll come back to this and this one is opened up from that topic. Remember we chose the topic. And you can see how from the topic, it's automatically generated some cards with what it thinks might be topics or paragraphs or parts that I want to focus on. The definition, the evolutionary history, you can see it's quite classification, and it's probably because I chose dinosaurs, biology. So it's a nice way of actually scaffolding some of that thinking for your students. Let's just see, I'm not sure if it will paste onto a text card because I don't think that we can copy and paste into Sway, so it probably wasn't my best choice. Oh, it looks like it might have. There you are, it has. It's actually copied and pasted it in. Here's the link here. Go to the Sway. So it's actually put it in that Sway for me. So it's pretty cool. You can link one Sway to another. Okay, so that's our sharing. So we have that share button up the top here. Now quickly, 4 minutes, I just want to show you the 3 dots. So under the 3 dots, you can duplicate the Sway. So you could make your copy for yourself. So it could be, you almost could be a template. Then you make a copy of it and you share that copy with someone with edit rights and you can work together on that copy. But your basic formatted template that you first created, you still have, you still own it and it's not been changed. You can also save it as a template. But this accessibility checker is pretty awesome too. So you can click on the accessibility checker and it will run through your Sway for you and it will give you some tips about how you could make the Sway more accessible for all learners. So what it's telling me here is that on this one, I need to add some alternative text to the image. So if there is a sight impaired person who's looking at my sway and they're using a screen reader, that there is some alternative text that they can read to tell them what that picture is about. And you can see it's actually suggested some text for me. So I could leave that alt text there, or I could go in and change that for myself. And down here, it's telling me that there are 6 things that I could do to make this more accessible. And so I can just flick through to the next thing. And it'll be all on my images because I didn't put any alternative text on any of them. And so it's suggested that text for me, which again, I can accept or I can change. And I can just keep going through and just checking that accessibility of my sway. So I think that's pretty powerful because that for us as educators is a really quick step to make sure that whatever we're creating is accessible for all of our learners to be able to access. So that accessibility checker was just in your 3 dots here, and it was under your accessibility checker. You also have the accessibility view. So somebody who is using accessibility features is going to show you, what they're going to be seeing. And you also have a help, which is pretty useful. So you can, some how-to articles, lead you to the Sway forum, gives feedback to Microsoft. So that is a very quick trip around Microsoft Sway. As I said, I'll just come back to you guys. So I'll stop sharing and come back to my screen here. There we go. Very quick trip through Sway, but just know that all of the slideshow, the PowerPoint with all of those how-tos is going to be in the OneNote that's going to be mailed to you. Also in that PowerPoint, there is a Microsoft code so that if you want to redeem the code, sorry, I should have shown you that. Let me just show you that quickly. If you want to redeem the code in the Microsoft Education Center on the bottom, and this is in the OneNote, this is the code that you would redeem to get your points to say that you attended this PD on presenting with Sway. If you're not sure how to get to the Microsoft Education Center, utb.fyi/MEC, put that in your Omnibox. That will take you to the Microsoft Educator Center. There's a little video here that steps you through how you would redeem your code. And as always, we love some feedback. So if you'd love to give us some feedback around this session or the whole event tonight, feel free. So that is all on the OneNote that you'll be receiving after this. So any quick questions before we wrap up? I realize we're right on 5:45, time to jump back into the networking. But I'll just check if there are any more questions. You're welcome, team. So I've just left the code up there if you want to write it down, or it will be in the OneNote also.